Hey guys, VoiD and Korean here on the final part of the tier list video. Special note, while we were making these videos, Banjo got released. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
It's been about a day, so I don't really have information on him, but if I were to place him after my day of research, I would put him somewhere in upper mid. I feel like that's not even me being generous. Like, the character, even in a day, I feel like he has really solid moves, solid like ways to get back to the stage. He pretty much has Fox invincible side B.
Right.
Just side B in general is an amazing move. Banjo's aerials are pretty. It's hard to trade with him, which is a big deal. Like, so you can't really just swat him out of his aerials, and he's just surprisingly strong. He's not really like, it's not hitting you weak. He has a lot of options to force you off the ledge. He can play both up close and from pretty far. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
But this isn't about Banjo.
Right.
It's not about Banjo. This is about these 10 top tier characters. And starting off my top 10, I'll have Pikachu.
Very good character. Didn't really receive any nerfs, if not buffs, right?
Yeah. Grab range buff.
Yeah. So this character is just really strong. I mean, the one thing about this character that I just feel like the X factor in this character is not as like consistent throughout the other top tiers. You can get very good gimps, but that usually requires like either your opponent having like a really bad recovery or you just getting
extremely
like
hard conditioning,
very solid double jump reads and stuff like that. So you can get really early kills with this character with either jab blocks or off stage game. But other than that, like you usually kill with this character a little later with like up throw or dash attack or up smash, stuff like that. But just really, really good damage output and insanely good out of shield options. Hard to hit.
It's just one of the scariest characters when you're trying to get a hit. And a big plus is like you get to play your game pretty much all the time.
Right.
Like T-Jolt's super good, Aerial is really good, grab game really good. Like, we're in the part of the characters where you're playing your game, and how good is your game? Because you don't really have to play your opponent's game.
Yeah.
Next up, we're gonna have a character that I personally think is incredibly good, but it can be hard to see it.
Okay.
Inkling.
Yeah, this is kind of like the same department in Pichu in a sense where it's like the only like early stocks you're getting are like
Roller.
off stage, or if you get a roller at 110 or something or 100 right by the edge and they don't like mash really well. Like if you're getting kills with Inkling at around the 110, 120, that's like good.
Exactly.
Which is like kind of like her biggest weakness. So
and generally at 120, you have to like know the up throw up air windows.
yes.
And if your opponent knows that too, then it becomes even harder to hit.
Right, you can get stocks earlier than 100 if you like get the up throw up airs, but
With some ink.
I don't know, man. It's just I don't see like crazy top level players doing it. Of course, as of recent, Cosmos hasn't really been attending, or even at Evo he didn't do too well, right? So it's like just the representation from Inkling in general has been a little lackluster, and it's really tough. But I still think this character's top 10. You're extremely safe. You have extremely good ledge trapping. Like Pikachu and Inkling are very consistent characters.
Yes.
But it's just sometimes they can struggle to kill, and then like that can really, really hurt you especially against some of these other top tiers.
And the fact that in a tournament environment you're going to be forced in that scenario a lot.
Yeah.
It can make your consistency become harder the higher you go.
Yeah, these two characters are extremely hard to play and extremely hard to be like consistent throughout a multi-day tournament, throughout an extremely stacked bracket. Like there's so many situations where it's like I should win if I don't mess up.
Exactly.
So it's like they're very hard, but very, very good. So I think these characters are phenomenal.
Next, we have kind of, I would consider this character sleeper because nobody really plays him, if I want to be honest.
Okay.
And that's Lucena.
And we saw Proto, right?
Yes, but like who else?
Before that, it was pretty much Leo's Lucena really showing us what this character can do and how strong this character is. She did receive the forward air and forward smash nerfs, but
it wasn't like big enough to change.
No, I still think she's top 10. And this character is a threat like throughout the entire bracket. So you still have top level with like Proto, and if Leo decides to like re-pick up this character and bring her out in bracket, he's gonna destroy people. She's very simple, so it's easy
to. It's not taxing on you as a player.
Right. It's a good gateway top tier for people looking for a top tier that's very simplistic. I know a lot of people that play Lucena just because they don't want to put like that much time into the game. So it's like, oh hey, like I have fundamentals, boom, 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 right? So yeah, I mean, just a very solid character. I mean, so many times when we're going throughout this tier list, we're like, oh yeah, like this character does this, but like loses to disjoints. Well, this is the character they lose to. It's
not
Lucena.
Just that, Lucena has a frame 1 out.
Yep.
One of the few like actual frame 1 outs in the game. And it's like kind of high commitment, but if you know you're getting comboed anyway, like you can even kill with it too.
It's a mix-up. At the end of the day, it's a mix-up.
Force your opponent to not autopilot their combos.
Yeah, one of the strongest edge guardings in the game. Because up B's so good, she's like one of the best people at edge guarding low. Because it's like, oh, I missed my like double jump aerial.
I still have up B.
I have up B to ledge. If they get hit by that up B to ledge, I can continue the edge guard, even combo off of it. I've seen Lucena's combo off the up B to the ledge into a ledge drop double jump bear.
I've gotten hit by a reverse hitbox of up B versus Zachary, and I died when I was trying to edge guard him.
Yep.
So I was like, this character pretty much has everything.
Yeah. Very, very well-rounded character, and doesn't really have like some of the struggles with like that Inkling and Pikachu can have. Like this character is known for like being able to get those stocks gained.
Because big hitboxes.
Up B out of shield, stuff like that. Like you have a lot of different ways to like get the kill.
So next up we'll have a character I actually enjoy fighting nowadays. Specifically nowadays. We have Olimar.
Even after the nerfs, man.
He's still good.
Yeah, he's still really good. I believe in your other tier list he was like 1 or 2. In your 3.0 tier list. So obviously this character has gotten hit pretty hard, the up smash and the up B and the shield. His hurt box got increased, but his shield did not. So he has he has the worst shield in the game, I'd want to say. And then his recovery got nerfed, like the amount of like fuel there is in it. Yeah. And then up smash can get shield grab now, which is like in my opinion the biggest one. The up smash.
Getting a guaranteed punish on up smash where otherwise you'd kind of mix up your opponents. Not too many people knew like how you could punish it or if you could punish it, and just knowing that you can punish it makes this character kind of less scary. When it comes to like, oh, you know, he's trying to up smash someone his shield, when it comes to like the up smash or grab mix up, it only really matters if he has a blue. So people, if you pay attention to Olimar's Pikmin order, it can become a lot harder for him to get like the earlier kills, and he's a light character, you know. So while he has amazing damage output, amazing just game all around, he can still die early. He can still, like, he has to recover like pretty correctly, or he just doesn't have that much fuel, you know.
Right, and this character is still very relevant in the meta.
Even after all of this.
Even after all the nerfs, we see all the top Olimar still doing well. So this character, in my opinion, still top tier. Was I believe there was like about 3 of them in top 32 of Evo. So showing to be a very relevant character in the meta game.
It's actually a good amount though.
Yeah.
So next up, we're gonna have a pretty bad character. Honestly, I don't know how they got up here, but Zero Suit.
All right, so
the most non-top tier in the game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she doesn't kill you off one hit, but like you don't only need that, right?
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing about Zero Suit for me is flip kick. Like flip kick pretty much does it all.
Yeah.
And like being able
kills early, kills late, gets you out of disadvantage, gets you out of a juggle situation.
Can push disadvantage even harder.
Yes.
Like you can go super hard off stage and still make it back.
Recovery move, yeah.
Like you can reversal situations with it. Like how many times have I seen someone like ledge drop flip click and then like
you get a kill off of
and then you get buried and you die at 90.
That's so lame.
It's very frustrating. There's sometimes I'm like in the air and I'm like, how did I get buried? and like you're like I was throwing out an aerial and like I still get like somewhat buried because I was somewhat close to the ground. Flip kick is, in my opinion, like 80% of why this character is here.
It's one of the best moves in the game.
It's that good. It's that good, and this game is all about like how your character can push disadvantage. It's such a big deal in this game, and just having that tool in itself gives you so many mix-ups and disadvantages.
And then not just that, it's just hard to catch the character. Zersuit's one of the 2 like best mobile characters. Like there are certain archetypes I think of the game. And like one of the biggest reasons why Zersuit is good is her mobility. It's hard to catch the character, which means they get to engage when they want to.
Yeah.
And you're pretty much playing a game of cat and mouse the whole time.
Right.
And Zersuit's really, really good at not getting caught. That's what makes her so good, honestly.
One of the safest nairs on block. You have Zaire that confirms in the thing.
Stop jab. Up you out of shield.
Yeah. The only weak thing about her is that grab. If you just essentially just get grabbed by her, she can't really kill you. There's no real setups off of it. You do get tech chase off forward throw, but that's essentially the main thing that's weak about her.
Not even like too many throw combos in this
so
game.
Like she doesn't really get much off of grab, and her grab's bad. So that's like pretty much her biggest weakness, but man, everything else about her is just very, very solid.
So next up, going into our top 5. So my number 5 character is Pokemon Trainer.
Yeah, and I mean, Trainer did like Ivysaur got nerfed, but Charizard got buffed,
Which is a pretty big deal.
A lot of majority of trainers I've talked to think that it's an overall buff to the character as a whole. So I really like it because it moves some of the power off of Ivy to Zard, so it rewards more trainers that are more well-rounded with the character.
Which just makes it harder to kill Trainer. It's easier to kill Ivy because weight differences. Zard being scarier makes it so you have to understand even more so how to fight all 3 characters.
Right, and Zard being scary too is just makes it so like when you're in that last stock last hit, usually the Zard's out. Usually.
Yes.
I personally think Zard's like better in last stock last hit situations because you have up smash out of shield.
Grab.
Like, you can play
up
out
smash
of shield.
Up B.
Right. You have like out of shield options. Like Ivysaur doesn't have out of shield options that kill.
Yeah, Ivysaur
and
has.
like Ivy's neutral is probably the most lackluster of all of them, unless your opponent can't deal with Razor Leaf. But newsflash, like a lot of top players know how to deal with that move. So
it gets harder to just play like Razor Leaf.
Yes.
Ivy, you need to get grabs, and we haven't even talked about Squirtle yet.
Like, I think Squirtle is actually the strongest one.
Yeah, the cons of Squirtle are mitigated by switching.
Yep.
Like that's not
like
cool.
Imagine if Pichu could like damage you and like, oh, I didn't cheese you at 50.
Switch to Pikachu.
Let me just switch to Pika.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. Now I'm just heavier and like literally everything about Squirtle, and that's the crazy thing about Trainer is all of these characters do their job and they do it really well.
Exactly.
So that's the deadly thing about this character. Squirtle, very hard to hit. The neutral is so strong with Squirtle. You get like he has an incredible standing grab range. Forward tilt, goes into grab, very strong poke, very fast, very little lag.
The move's broken.
It is so good. Like this character is just, it's like so well rounded, but I also think this character is very hard to play. You got to learn characters.
You have to understand.
You have to know exactly when to switch.
Everything.
Having that frame one out, out, we didn't even get to that. So this character has so much to talk about, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it feels like you have it all. It's in a package deal.
So fourth on the list. This character, I think he's been doing good for the whole game.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like, and that's surprising because I feel like people don't talk about him as much as, let's say, like the other ones here.
Yeah. I think. I mean, you gotta show the character.
I gotta show the character.
Yeah.
Wario.
I think this character is probably the most popular top tier within mains and secondaries of top level.
Yes, because he's a character where you force your opponent, like, and we said most of the top tiers, like, you get to play your own game. Wario, like, actually gets to play his own game. Unless he's constantly getting outranged, even when he gets waffed, like, the name of the game is, hey, Wario's going to get waffed, and then am I going to beat Wario, or am I going to lose to waft?
Yeah.
And like that game is just so deadly in a game where like we have stock counts, you know? Like
Right.
waft
3
takes a stock.
stocks. Half waft is incredibly strong. It's just, even if he gets outranged, he doesn't need to necessarily get in a lot.
He needs
He's
to
a
get him
character-
once.
This character can just get in a handful of times
Yes.
and like essentially win the game.
Smash 4 character.
Yeah, pretty much. He has a lot of setups in the waft. Up tilt has intangible hands. You can like nair hit 2 in the waft. You can falling up air in the waft. You can down air in the waft. You can even do certain bike setups in the waft. I've seen falling fair in the waft.
I have gotten falling fair in a wafted.
Yeah, it is a thing. And then you also have like decent confirms like down tilt dash attack. Like you can get kills without waft. Like I've seen
Can
a
you
lot
do fair
of
dash attack? Can you do fair dash attack?
probably fair dash attack, probably fair forward tilt. I'm not like super sure
Yeah,
on those,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like they sound like in my head like they would work. But and then like I've seen Wario's many times just get back airs just for the stocks.
Neutral B.
Yep, neutral B.
Like
also
even
can
going
kill.
into this, I was like, you know, Wario can. Like, every time you fight Wario, or at least every time I fight Wario, I'm like, you know, you can't really kill me if I shield, but he can.
Yeah. Yeah, it's scary. And having a command grab, which is like really strong because everybody shields on platforms because you can't shield drop. So like shielding is like your number one out or risk the jump and get hit. But like usually you're gonna shield the aerial they come up with and then jump to get out of that situation. Like that's like a very standard play, but you can't really do that against like someone that's mixing you up with command grabs. And now you're in a position where you have to guess, which is incredibly strong. But I mean, I know some people like some of his hitboxes aren't the most consistent at like lower percents, so that kind of sucks. I know like at 0%, sometimes you'll do rising there and it doesn't hit into your full combo, but then like sometimes it does. It's like really it depends on like if they're in the air. It's like it's one of those things. But like once you get into that 20% range with Wario, he becomes like, oh, I just need that one opening kind of thing. And like I said, it's a very hard argument to make because even if you don't think this character is good, you can't argue the fact that this is the most popular character in top level play in terms of like mains
so many people
and
play him.
pockets. Like there's so many Japanese players that either main this character or pocket him. Tweak has a pocket Wario. Gluttony solo Warrios. You know,
Kameme has a Wario.
Yeah,
Zachary has a Wario.
Yeah, this character
Abba has a Wario.
So good.
Niatono has a Wario.
Yeah, and all of them did really well at Evo. Wario is the most represented character in top 32 of Evo if you count mains and secondaries. Like the most represented. So, just
goes to show like this character got the sauce, you know.
Even if you don't think this character is good, this character is very relevant in the meta and very popular.
And that's what a top tier is.
Yep.
Next up, going into our top 3 characters. Top 3, number 3, Peach. Now, Peach is a character where when you see what Peach does, you're just like, that's not okay.
It's pretty crazy.
Like, it's pretty not okay.
There's a lot of things I'm not too particular. I don't agree with. Is one big thing is I don't think
float damage.
Yes, I don't think a float should count. Like float aerials should not count as full hop unless you like reached a certain height or something. Like you shouldn't be like right next to the ground doing full hop aerial damage.
You shouldn't.
Any other character in the game would have to full hop and then come down to the ground and then do the aerial to receive that reward. Whereas Peach, because
just
of
has
her
float mechanic,
she cheats the system essentially.
And another thing, since turnips are considered items, they don't stale.
Yep, that is a big deal.
So Peach just has the best overall punish game in the cast. However, that's, in my opinion, that's not what makes her good.
Even her neutral,
because
like turnips in neutral are good.
We've
like
gotten
short hop turnip throw.
We've gotten to a point in the meta where like Peach's combo game isn't what makes her good. Peach's advantage state and Peach's neutral are significantly better, and that's what can lead into the punish game. Like one thing that thoroughly impresses me, Samsora will get back air to down tilt like so many times, and like that's amazing. But the punish game itself is more of like a plus. Peach is incredibly safe on block, incredibly hard to get out of the corner versus, and
probably one of the best corner pressure characters in the game because of float cancel back air.
Exactly.
So you're getting float cancel bear. Like the only other scarier situation I can really think of is going up against Joker Arsene in the corner against his bear. But like
even then, Peach does more. You know.
Right, like not Peach in terms of kill power, but like
she can like bear.
Right,
Joker,
exactly.
he like has to jump. You know, he has to go through the
Right.
commitment. Peach doesn't have to do that.
Yeah, And then like after like the 2 float cancel bears, then she could do a rising bear to catch a jump out of the corner or something.
Or rising fair, or nothing, or shield, or
she definitely, in my opinion, she has the most consistent corner pressure in the game because of float cancel. It's so powerful. And then on top of just everything, even a regular turnip does. I think the most basic turnip does
I think it's 12.6.
11 or 12, something like that. Like that's a lot for a basic turnip. And then if you get any of the other ones, it's just more damage than that. And then she can like throw a turnip in neutral, come forward with it, and then like combo off of it. Like her neutral, like even in matchups where she lacks range, she can just turn up, and it's like, it's really good for edge guarding. Like, and this character can hold turnips while doing aerials. There's a lot of mix-ups there too. So like, even when the turnip's in hand, it's not like Diddy Kong where it's like, well, he has to throw the banana.
No, she can do whatever she wants.
Like I know Diddy's can do that tech where they Z drop and then catch it, but that's like you have to get to the peak of your jump. Then, like, after you get to the peak of your jump, start falling down, and that's when you can set up that situation. Mm-hmm. But, like, Peach just does it. Yeah. Another way of bypassing the system. Peach does a lot of things to bypass the system. And I think that's why she's here, number 3.
Pretty much. Now, number two. Well, you know, it has to be Joker.
I mean, but Leo wins, man.
Leo does win. You're not wrong.
Leo wins everything.
Yes. But I don't think that speaks to like how good Joker kind of is.
Okay.
Overall, in the overall like community.
Yeah, and I definitely think Snake is a more powerful presence in the meta.
He's much more popular
than Joker. Joker like, does win.
Joker's winning, but Snake is overall more successful.
But to be fair, like Joker is being won and being piloted by someone who was already winning everything before, like without Joker.
But so, even with that, more Jokers are starting to rise up.
Right.
But you can tell Joker, people are starting to optimize counterplaying Arsene. People are like both in timing him out or just like pressuring the recovery.
Yeah.
Normal Joker, you can tell they're starting to have to work very hard to do just like pretty much just normal things.
And it's so important that your vanilla Joker gets a decent amount of damage. Like before vanilla your Joker is more important. You need to be able to at least do 70 because if you did nothing to them and they pop your Arsene,
you're just gonna combo them.
You're using your Arsene to get the damage, but like, can you get the stock? Like you probably can. But like you have to like probably do a string into like something wild, like into a super hard read.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really important for any good Joker to just have that vanilla Joker. And I mean, obviously this character is up here for a reason. Leo does very, very well. Yes. He really shows the potential of this character, and
there's still more actually. I feel like the character is still growing.
One thing, we were watching grand finals of Shine. Me and Tweak were, and it was crazy because he brought up a really good point where we're watching, and then Leo has 3 stocks, Samsora has 1, and then Tweak was like, he has to get through 5 Arsenes.
Yes,
to bring this
that's one of the biggest perks of Joker. If you have a lead, like you can imagine each Joker stock as how many Arsenes is he gonna get.
Right.
First stock is pretty much, let's say, average 1.
Yeah.
Like unless you get a Rebels Guard, it's really hard to get the second one.
Unless you're on stock 2 and 3.
Yes, stock 2 and 3, he starts with a little bit of meter, so you're definitely fighting 2 Arsenes per second and third stock. So Joker just naturally ramps up as he's playing the game.
Right.
And not just that, like he's pretty heavy.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, this character is a tad bit too heavy for how nimble he is. Like, he is very hard to hit. His dash animation is very, very good.
His legs are toothpicks.
And he's skinny. He's so scrawny. This character's so hard to hit, and like he's still decently heavy. Like obviously he's not a heavy, but like he has a good amount of weight for how hard he is to hit, and like how strong he is.
Yes.
Another thing I kind of don't agree with is like the little bit of bar you get on stocks 2 and 3.
Yeah, that shouldn't be there.
Because
I don't get why that's
on
there.
stock 1 you get Arsene at 70%, and stocks 2 and 3 you get like 50%, dude. That is
very early.
Crazy.
Yes.
So like stocks 2 and 3, you're definitely gonna deal with 2 Arsenes unless you get a Gimp. So that's a little wild to me. I feel like you should at least like nail a Rebels Guard or something, or just live a very long time until for your second Arsene. But that's the way it is, and that's why he's so strong, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, it's just he's just a character where it's like you have the comeback factor of Arsene, but then your comeback factor is also consistent when you're ahead. So like when you're ahead,
it's not just a comeback mechanic.
You've like secured your win.
It's like it's a comeback mechanic and a win more mechanic.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Generally, you're not playing on the same ground as Joker. It's either you're probably better than him or you're worse than him.
Yeah.
And that one's not a probably. So that's what makes Joker take the silver medal. And first, I wonder who it could be. Snake.
Yes, this character, I feel like, has everything, but then falls into the bad disadvantage boat.
But that's it.
But that's pretty much it. You have a frame one out.
Frame one out with grenade. He's heavy. He has a frame 5 zone breaker with dash attack.
One of the best dash attacks in the game is on a zoner.
Yes.
Like, arguably the best zoner.
Yeah. If Snake pretty much has enough of everything to just make him so powerful. Like, he has the weight. He has like good frame data. He has camping tools. He has zone breaking tools. He has ways to kill you off grab. He has edge guarding tools.
He has the best,
zero risk edge guard, by the way.
He has a zero risk edge guarding tool.
Yes.
That kills. That like literally probably invalidates over 50% of these characters' recoveries.
If that move didn't have it to where like you could make it circle around and hit the guy outwards, like it'd be so much easier to deal with.
Yeah.
But Snake pretty much has everything.
If he has enough time off stage to double jump and go high without getting hit,
it's pretty easy.
Which is pretty easy. Which they're usually going to do because Snake's worst part of disadvantage is when he recovers low.
Because easy to spike him.
That is where it's free game. Usually most characters can hit him in that position. Mm-hmm. So that's like his weakest state of the game when he's recovering low. So if you can force that or like make an arc for that, that's where you can really nail this character. But if you can get away with a double jump cypher and then he goes up high and then he's coming down, he still has B reverse mix-ups. He's still pulling grenades.
So has directional air dodge or neutral air dodge.
And then like he's B reversing with the move. Like grenade, like his best move.
And also reverse C4, like which is less committal.
So it's like, if you hit him on a juggle, but like your range is too long, like something like Shulk, then it pops a grenade, trade, and then like this character just wants trades anyway. So
yes,
I definitely feel like this character is the most like well-rounded, and we even see. I would say he's probably the second most popular character in the meta. Like
he was the most. Like it went from I think Olimar to Snake to Wario.
Yeah.
I think was the transition within this year. Currently it's on Wario, but that doesn't mean the Snakes went anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. You know? And then Snakes just like they just have a little bit of everything, and then they're on top of that they're popular too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, this character, like I feel like Snake's way more well-rounded than Wario in terms of character
design.
Heck
yeah.
Because Wario just mainly relies on the wall. But man, Snake is just so consistent.
And yeah, pretty much rounds up the tier list. Again, I stated this in the beginning. If you made it to this part, sick. But the strength differences in this game are pretty minuscule. The main reasons why the tier list is formatted like this is kind of, it's for me, it's harder to differentiate stuff, and I feel like a format like this is easier to digest.
Right.
Because for me, it's kind of like, hey, these characters, and then just like a giant blur. So this helps me digest it pretty well too. You guys want to like learn more about your characters, there's always tournaments happening. The tier lists are ever changing. They're not just my own opinion, but there's results you can use to back up arguments, to talk about it, and most importantly, tier lists are good for discussion. It just helps you see how other people think of the game, and you guys can mix and match, like, hey, maybe I didn't think that great of Shulk and you think I should put him higher. We can talk about that. It's cool. Tier lists are fun, and I had fun making these, so I hope you guys had fun watching. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys future videos, future content, or maybe even at a tournament someday. Take care.